When most of us hear yoga, we picture a workout, right? Stretching, sweating, getting stronger. But what if I told you the physical poses, the asanas, were never actually about fitness? Today, we're going to dig into the real and honestly much more profound purpose of asana. So let's be real. When you hear the word yoga, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's a fitness class, right? You're thinking about stretching, maybe some of those really impressive poses you see online. And yeah, that's definitely part of the modern picture. But it really makes you wonder, is that it? Is yoga just another way to get a workout in? All right, so let's get into it. To really wrap our heads around this, we've got to go way back to the roots of the practice. We're going to explore what the word asana actually meant in the first place. And trust me, it's a journey that takes us from just moving our bodies to something, well, a lot deeper. And our journey really kicks off with this ancient definition from the sage Patanjali. It's just three little words in Sanskrit, but they completely flip the script on what we think the goal of a yoga pose is. It's not about how far you can push yourself. It's about finding a very specific state of being. So what does that actually mean? Well, let's break it down. Sthira, that means stable, steady, strong. And sukham, that means comfortable, easy, filled with a sense of well-being. So an asana isn't just any old pose. It's a posture where you can find that sweet spot, that perfect balance between being totally stable and completely at ease. The whole point isn't to strain, it's to find steadiness. Okay, but why so much focus on just being stable? Well, think about it like this. If your body is restless and fidgety, it's constantly sending these little staticky signals, this noise, up to your brain. You can't possibly find mental stillness if your physical foundation is all shaky, right? So asana is really the practice of calming the body down, creating that inner silence so the mind can finally focus and go deeper. And here's where it gets really, really cool. This simple act of finding a stable posture, it creates health on so many different levels. We're not just talking about toned muscles here. This is a completely holistic approach to your well-being. I mean, the practice is literally designed to work on our entire being. We're talking from your internal organs and your nervous system, all the way up to your emotional state and even your spiritual awareness. It's this incredible, integrated system. So let's take a look at how it all works. So starting with the physical stuff, yeah, of course you get more flexible, but it goes so much deeper than just touching your toes. The real focus is on the health of your spinal cord, which is like the superhighway of your nervous system. The poses are designed to massage your internal organs, get blood flowing to every single cell, and even give your body's natural defenses a serious boost. And all that physical stability, it has a direct, and I mean direct, impact on your mind. When you calm down your nervous system, asana helps to quiet that constant internal battle. You know, the one between your logical brain and your immediate reactive emotions. It just dissolves that feeling of restlessness. The ancient texts actually have a name for it, Rajoguna, and it builds this foundation of inner calm. That makes it so much easier to handle things like fear or anxiety. Okay, and then we get to the really subtle stuff. Asanas actually influence our endocrine system. That's the whole network of glands that produce hormones, controlling pretty much everything from your mood to your metabolism. It's like the body's magic box. The practice is also said to activate these reflex spot zones, or energy centers, clearing out the pathways and getting your mind and body ready for that deep stillness you need for meditation and real self-awareness. So, this all brings us to a really crucial point. We need to understand how this whole philosophy makes asana completely, fundamentally different from what we usually think of as exercise, like going for a run or lifting weights. In this chart, wow, it just lays it all out so clearly. Just look at the focus, right? Regular exercise is all about the muscles, but asana, it's targeting the more subtle stuff, the nerves and the glands, and the effect is totally different. Exercise can often create hardness in the muscles, but asana creates flexibility. The whole process is flipped. One strains and tires you out, while the other calms you down and actually energizes you. And that leads to the end result, physical exhaustion versus mental peace. It's a completely different way of looking at things. Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we put this whole philosophy into practice? If the goal isn't to just push through the pain and feel the burn, then what are the rules? Well, it turns out it all comes down to your intention. The guidelines for getting started are actually super simple, and they get right to the heart of this whole idea. It's all about creating the right conditions for yourself. Find a peaceful spot. Practice on an empty stomach. Give yourself at least a few hours after a meal. Wear clothes that are loose and comfy. But here's the most important part. Let your breath be your guide. Breathe slowly and deeply. And whatever you do, do not strain. Seriously. The second you feel that stress and strain, you've kind of lost the whole point of the pose. So really, to wrap it all up, this is the big takeaway. It's a fundamental shift in how we see it. We're not trying to exhaust ourselves. We're not trying to nail some extreme pose just for a cool picture. What we're actually looking for is that beautiful, powerful sweet spot, that balance of stability and comfort. And that brings us to the final question. And this one's really for you to think about. Now that you have this deeper understanding, the next time you step onto your yoga mat, what are you going to be looking for? Is it just a workout, or is it a connection? Because as we've just seen, that one little choice, well, it changes absolutely everything.